It's the Agribusiness Report. I'm Tony St. James. We're joined today by Travis Mires. Travis is a producer from O'Donnell. And for those who don't know where O'Donnell, Texas is, what's a good way without having to get a map out?
We're straight south of Lubbock on 87, and we have an Allsup's there that you can recognize O'Donnell by. That's about it. So 87 doesn't run through town, but it runs beside it, but we're pretty small.
Now, anybody who's been around the area will know this as well, but there was somebody who kind of famous from O'Donnell, and his name's Travis Mires, but the second most famous guy from O'Donnell
is Dan Blocker, who played Hoss on the Bonanza series. And my uncle was actually in the same grade that he was in, and so he had quite a few stories to tell about old Hoss when he was growing up. They had a grocery store there in town, and he would carry out 100-pound bags on each shoulder, but he was quite a character.
Well, let's talk a little about your operation. You and I've had the opportunity to visit in the past, so I know you've got a diversified operation that's going, but primarily cotton, right? Tell us more about what the Mires farm.
Okay. Well, we are truly a family farm. I farm with my two sons. My daughter is also involved. She's actually an ag teacher in Stratford, so that one's long distance, but the other two are on hand. And we, like I say, we are pretty diversified. We have a lot of cotton, but we also run a lot of cattle. We're in a show calf operation, and so that's a pretty hands-on type of operation for cattle, But we do a lot of hay and of course to feed the cattle and stuff. But we farm quite a few acres, and so stay pretty busy.
Let's talk about growing cotton. Once we go south of Lubbock, we've got some irrigated areas, obviously, but quite a few dry land acres of cotton. Why is it cotton? Why are we growing cotton around this region of Texas, and why is it so important that we have a safety net for those producers?
Well, like I say, in fact, we're about 80% dry land in our operation, so we've got a lot of dry land, and I guess the best part about it is we get to work with God every day, when we're waiting on these rains to help make our crop. But like I say, our soil is very well adapted. We can we don't have those hard clays that burn up and in the summertime so bad. We've got a lot of sand, and so and the way our rainfall patterns are, we just seem to be able to, on most years or some years, we get to make a really good dryland crop, and there's a good bit of margin in it when you can do that without having those irrigation costs involved in it. So it's just cotton country,
You mentioned old Hoss would haul out 100-pound bags on his shoulder at a grocery store back then. Things have really changed in our rural communities. I just wonder if we weren't growing cotton in those areas, and there wasn't another crop to grow, would there be a rural community there?
Oh, I tell people that all the time, that wonder about this cotton industry, but right now our industry probably supports 80 to 90% of the people in our county. And if we all went back to grass, like it used to be 100 years ago, there would probably be 200 people live in Dawson County instead of, the amount that we have today. So it's vitally important to to our economy in these small towns.
And it spills over into the local schools as
Sure,
well.
Sure.
You're the incoming president for Plains Cotton Growers. What's the importance of groups like Plains Cotton Growers? And then what's the role of a board member for that? Because it's one thing to be a member of an organization, but to step up and be a board member.
Well, it's all about, I think the new buzzword, is communication now, and it's so important for us to get our story out. I'm on several national boards, and we get hit every day with this transparency and circularity and sustainability. Well, that's what we live every day, is that. But the consumer that buys his clothes at Walmart doesn't, they don't know or realize how much we are put at risk each year to make a crop, and the work that we have to put in each year to make a crop, and for those people to hear our story and have some way to tie that T-shirt back to Mires Farms, and that's a wonderful thing about technology now is there's the ability to do that. I can trace my bale of cotton, and it's probably going to go overseas, but it can be traced all the way back to a T-shirt, and I think that's important for those people to be able to buy something. We want to promote U.S. cotton as much as we can, because that solves a lot of circularity problems when you know that it came from the U.S.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because there's a debate that goes on from time to time in other industries, and not trying to dig into the debate much, but the idea of traceability, you've had it for a long time now, the ability to trace that bale back. How important is that? And obviously there were concerns about doing that early on from producers. Has there been any downside that you've seen from that?
There really hasn't been, Of course, we're all independent, farmers, and worried a little bit about government interference and stuff like that. But I've not seen any downside. I don't do anything that on our farm that I'm embarrassed about, and the sustainability deal, I want my farm to be there for my grandkids, and so we're focused on that, and that's the only way we're still in business, is some of that. But we're not scared of our story, we've got a good story to tell, and we're proud of it, and hope that people will respond to it and buy U.S. cotton.
So good to see you. Congratulations on becoming the incoming president for Plains Cotton Growers. We're looking forward to your 2 years of service, right?
That's right.
Okay. Travis Mires is a producer from O'Donnell, Texas, incoming president for Plains Cotton Growers, headquartered in Lubbock. We're at Plains Cotton Growers annual meeting, Overton Hotel in Lubbock, and I'm Tony St. James. This is the Agribusiness Report.